Losing a six-figure job in my 50s wasn't exactly in my life plan. So I did what any sane person would do. I became a rideshare driver and I started a YouTube channel. This video is my unfiltered truth about what happens when plan A doesn't just fail, it goes bonkers. So here we are, 2 months of Uber and Lyft driving under my belt, and trust me, I have some thoughts. A lot of bitter thoughts. Some are seasoned with reality checks and a dash of frustration, but I do have thoughts nonetheless. I've got spreadsheets, budget breakdowns, and a clearer picture of what my new normal is shaping up to be. I am hustling so hard, but is it paying off? The numbers are starting to tell a story, but is it even one that's worth reading? So for those of you who are new here, I'm a former product manager who spent 30 years in tech. I was at the top of my game, then I was laid off in January 2024. Now I can't even land an interview. So for this video, I'm putting it all out there. I'm crunching some numbers, math is hard, and I'm talking about what it really means to rebuild your life. Oh, and yeah, I'll be spilling the tea on how my YouTube monetization journey fits into my new life. But don't worry, we'll get to those numbers soon enough. I actually had a really hard realization over the last few weeks that I wanted to share with you. I know that I have said in other videos that I think my career is over, right? I've said, oh, my career's donezo, my career's over. But apparently there was some small part of my brain, probably way back in the back, that kept thinking this was temporary. Now, I thought that I had made peace with this whole career shift thing, but then one day I caught myself wanting to go home early because I was really tired. It's fine. It's fine. You made enough today to get by. You can just get caught up when you get a real job again. What? And that's when it snuck up on me like a fart in yoga class. I was freaking shocked. How long had I been subconsciously holding on to this idea that this whole driving for a living thing was just a pit stop until something better came along? This money that I'm making now is what I have to pay off debt, save, and try to move forward. There's no magical when I get a job again safety net waiting for me. This is kind of it. This is the money that I have to carry me through. So it was like having this wake-up call all over again, and it freaking hurt. It was also a wee bit scary. This is it. This is it. This isn't a pit stop. It's the highway I'm driving on, and there's no exit ramp back to my old life. It's funny though, I can see a lot of changes in myself. I used to define success by titles and paychecks and raises and blah, blah, blah. But these last 2 months have shifted that completely. I never thought I'd find joy in something as simple as making a passenger laugh or helping someone get to work on time. But here I am redefining what fulfillment means on my own terms. I am eternally grateful that I have this opportunity to make money. I can't even tell you how grateful I am. I couldn't find anything else, and this allows me the freedom and the flexibility that I need. Do I wish the money was better? Hell's yeah. But we're going to talk about that more in just a bit. If you want to see how things evolve, I was planning on doing quarterly updates, so just let me know in the comments if that's something that you're even interested in, okay? But for this video, I'm not going to go into the total nitty gritty, like how many car washes did you get? How much tread did you lose on your tires? I didn't do that, right? I'm just sharing the basics of my life and what you can actually expect if you want to take the plunge into this rideshare YouTube adventure, right? Or maybe you're just wondering what happens when the corporate ladder turns into a freaking slide that has baby oil on it. And it's one of those metal ones that we had when we were kids, and it's really hot. But you know what? The numbers are starting to show me something pretty cool. So just what does my new reality look like? Let's dig into the rideshare numbers first, because let's face it, without the numbers, this is just a therapy session disguised as a YouTube video. Except you don't get to bill your insurance, and I don't get a copay. This is where things get a little number heavy, but I'm going to try to keep it as clear and clean as possible. Also, I've rounded most of the numbers up to make it clearer. Okay? All right. Here we go. I started doing rideshare on October 23rd, 2024, and these numbers are accurate as of December 21st, 2024. So that is 60 full days, okay? 60 days. Keep in mind, this also all happened over the holiday seasons, which definitely adds its own twist to everything. Really slow days, a lot less tips. So I'm really looking forward to Q1 of next year to see what the differences are between the two. All right. Plus, these 2 months have been an absolutely huge learning curve, right? I have just been trying to figure things out. And as I keep going, I absolutely know things are going to get better. Okay. So most days I'm up at 3:30 and I'm driving by 4 until I hit my goal or until I just can't keep my eyes open anymore. I set a personal goal to make 150 a day, but to be honest, that doesn't always happen because some days I'm just too tired. There's no shame. There's no shame. Have you taken on something like this that's been really tough for you? Something that's completely out of your character and comfort zone? Whether it was a job, a project, or just getting through a challenging season of life, I would love to hear about it in the comments. How did you make it work? Out of the 60 days in this period, I worked 56 of those days, and I worked an average of about 6 hours per day doing rideshare. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but the adjustment for me has been hard. I'm not even going to lie. Some days this was all I could handle. This consistent effort shows how much of a grind rideshare can be, but also how much hustle it takes to make ends meet. Every dollar is a fight. So I drive a 2019 GMC Terrain Denali. It was the very first new car that I ever bought. And when I started rideshare, it had less than 12,000 miles on it. So 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in 6 years, I did less than 12,000 miles, okay? So it was practically a new car at the time I started rideshare. So that's good. In these 2 months, I worked 328 hours and I drove 8,453 miles. That's a lot of freaking miles for 2 months. My total income between Uber, Lyft, and tips came to about $7,702. Subtracting gas expenses of $1,026, I netted around $6,676. Pretty good. Gas alone, though, ate up 13% of my total income. I gotta get better at this. Okay, but also let's not forget the tolls because apparently we all enjoy paying extra for the privilege of driving. I had to pay about $156 in tolls, and those are added to my check, and then I get the toll bill later, so those need to be deducted from this total amount, okay? So out of the 522 total rides that I gave, 78% of them came from Uber, which I thought was really interesting. When I don't have a ride, I turn on both apps, and whichever one feeds me a good one first, that's the one that I take. I realized that sometimes I could be driving for hours and I never turn the Lyft app off and it never goes off. It just never dings. I just don't think Lyft is really as popular in my area. All of this breaks down to about $20.36 an hour worked and about 91 cents per mile driven. Now I aim for $1 per mile, but this time around I didn't always hit that mark because I was still learning. I didn't even know that was a thing when I started, okay? So does this mean that rideshare isn't worth it? All right, let's see if the numbers add up in other ways. I made $847 in tips, which was about 11.3% of my total income. But tips aren't guaranteed, and I learned that most of my passengers are minimum wage workers, people that are heading to jobs at Walmart, Amazon, fast food restaurants. For them, rideshare has got to be freaking expensive because they use it like every day, twice a day. I can't even imagine. And honestly, I would rather they skip tipping me if it means they can stretch their dollars a little bit further. That's why I'm aiming for that $1 a mile or more when I accept the ride, because it's the baseline that actually makes it worth it. So what's really going on with the fares? Let's unpack the full cost of a ride, okay? This is another crucial aspect to consider, what the passenger pays versus what I actually earn. This really explains the overall picture and explains why tipping can be such a sensitive subject. Here's a little perspective. Let's say that Uber tells me I've earned $10 for a ride. Now I get that $10, but the passenger often pays significantly more, sometimes double or even triple that amount. Based on my overall earnings and the breakdown of fees, I can estimate that Uber keeps around 42 to 43% of the total fare. So if I'm getting 10 bucks, Uber is likely charging the passenger somewhere between $17, $18 or even more. Now here's a breakdown from my recent earning period. The total fares paid by passengers was about $1,168. Of that, my earnings were $675, which is about 57%. The rest, approximately 43%, is what Uber keeps to cover their various costs. So on that $10 ride I received, the customer is paying much, much more. When you see it like that, it's easy to understand why passengers may be hesitant to tip. They're already paying a premium for the ride itself. It's not personal, it's math. Now that you know what happens in my car, let's shift gears and talk about what's really driving this channel. Wink, wink. You see what I did there? Yeah, that was lame. I know. Sorry. First of all, I freaking love this channel. This is my favorite job ever, for sure. I always feel a little bit odd about talking about the money part of this, but I know it provides value to some people. Now, I don't want you to feel like I'm just seeing dollar signs when I'm talking with you. This isn't about cashing in. It's about building something meaningful that we can all connect to. So let's get into it, but know that this is just one part of the journey. Now, I was monetized on November 19th, 2024, so I thank you all for that. It was amazing to be monetized after only 6 months, and I am so freaking grateful. I can hardly stand myself. So grateful. I earned $316.40 in November, and so far in December, I'm at $656.26. That was as of December 21st, right? How freaking awesome is that? It is so awesome. I am getting paid to do something that I love. This is amazing. What's even more freaking awesome is $186.11 came from super thanks. Now, I didn't even know what those were. There's a little button underneath the videos that says thanks. Sometimes it's hidden behind the hamburger menu, that ... menu. And when you click on it, you can support your favorite creators. So let me tell you, first of all, that support means the world to me. It is absolutely freaking amazing to think that someone out there connected with my story enough to contribute directly to me. Just little old me. So to everyone who hit that little thanks button, thank you for believing in me. You're part of what makes this journey in Pivot Town possible. Now, let me give you a little bit of insight here. My video, What Nobody Tells You About Job Interviews After 50, at this writing has about 8,914 views, okay? And it's generated about $44.01 in revenue. That breaks down to about $4.93 per 1,000 views. Not bad at all, I don't think. I mean, I am so lucky that I can make a little bit of money doing this, and I am just so grateful. I think I've said that already, that I'm grateful. Sorry, but it's so true. To give you some context, I spend about 5 hours a day, 7 days a week working on this channel, at least. Honestly, that's probably a really conservative estimate, but that's after driving rideshare from 4 a.m. to 11-ish on most days. And yeah, it really is a conservative estimate. It's more, but I didn't want to make it more because basically since I have been monetized, I am making about $3.81 an hour on YouTube since November 19th. I know that's a really high estimate, but I work a lot more than that, but that number is actually lower, but I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go there. And let's not forget the 60 plus hour weeks that I did for a solid 6 months before being monetized. I think I might actually owe YouTube money. Right now, all my earnings come from AdSense, no sponsorships, no merch, just the ads that you see on these videos and the super thanks that I got from some of you. And while it's not much yet, it's a freaking start. This channel isn't a job. It has become a place where I can connect, share, and honestly, rebuild. This is where I see the new me. This is where I see it. Now it's time for the big question. Is all of this worth it? While it's tricky to project a perfect monthly average with the partial data that I have, If we consider that in these 2 months, my total earnings from both Rideshare and YouTube were about $7,649, and we divide that over 2 months, the average income is about $3,824 per month. Not perfect, but it's what we got. Now, my monthly expenses are about $4,926, and that includes things like mortgage, insurance, food, stuff like that. Now, based on those numbers, I am currently short about $550 per month. Again, these numbers are not totally accurate. Now, this is me paying the minimum on everything and getting rid of almost all of my luxury items and drastically changing my spending habits. Now, while these numbers aren't quite where I need them to be yet, it is important to look at the bigger picture. I am getting better at the rideshare stuff, and my YouTube channel is finding my tribe. The channel is steadily growing, and as it picks up steam, I know the revenue is going to follow. As for rideshare, I'm still adjusting, but as my body gets used to the grind, I'll be able to put in longer hours and increase my earnings. When I stop being a slave to the app and really take the rides that are worth it, my earnings are absolutely going to go up. The hard work that I'm putting in now is laying the foundation for something that's bigger. It's not easy. But it's a start. I'm starting. And every day I am one step closer to getting it right. So yes, for me, right now, in this season of my life, this is all absolutely worth it. It's not 6 figures, but it's a lifeline that I'm grateful for. I need to find another word. It's a lifeline that I'm grateful for. It's given me purpose in a time when I was feeling really, really lost and really, really scared. It's been harder than I ever could put into words, but I'm starting to see the potential of what I'm doing. I am starting to see my potential. Things can really only get better from here. So I'm ready to keep fighting and climbing and make this work. So making it work is one thing, but making it sustainable, that's the real challenge. Can I make this work without running myself into the ground? So far, the answer is a big fat no. But wait. I've learned a lot in these first 2 months, especially about the importance of sustainability, okay? I have realized that I cannot maintain this pace without burning myself out. Right now, I'm working at least 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that is not exactly a picture of self-care, but I'm starting to figure it out. I have to. I've had days where my body just absolutely shuts down. It's not about hustling every single day. It's about finding balance, right? I think as I keep adjusting and as I keep learning and as I keep growing, things are going to start flowing and I'll find my rhythm. It's not perfect, but I'm learning. I've got to keep emphasizing that to myself. There's no golden ticket here, no magic answer to making it all work, but what I can do is focus on making sustainable progress, both financially and mentally. Here's the thing. I feel like I've got a really solid start with both Rideshare and YouTube. And you know what? I actually love what I'm doing here. I am passionate, I'm optimistic, and dare I say it, I'm happy. Who knew? The best part, we are building an incredible community here, and I'm honestly humbled and excited by the connections that we're all making with each other. Now, my goal has never been about being internet famous, right? It's always been about creating a space where we can be real, where we can teach, encourage, commiserate, and lift each other up. This is my reinvention, you guys, right? Rideshare is giving me the flexibility I need, setting my own hours, ditching that 9-to-5 grind. And sure, the pay isn't what I'm used to, but there's something uniquely rewarding about connecting with people from all walks of life. Everyone's stories are reminding me that I am not alone. And in return, I hope I make y'all feel the same. So yeah, my life has changed, but in some ways it's evolving in the best possible direction. And even though I am exhausted most days, damn, that feels good. Really good. So I'm going to say it again. My career as I knew it is over. But you know what? My life isn't. This community here that we're building is proof of that. This chapter of my life is all about proving that starting over means building something better, something that actually fits you and your life and your core values. But here's the thing, this reinvention isn't just about jobs or paychecks. It's about breaking down the rules society throws at us, especially when it comes to how we're supposed to age. Who says that we have to fade quietly into the background? Not me. obviously. Let's talk about what it really means to take up space and rewrite the rules. Are you in?